Talk about the Academy Awards. Today they did the nominations, and there's a lot of articles out there that you can go to and see in a very nice, organized manner, all of the nominations that they had. And a lot of people are saying right now, you're talking about earlier how you saw the nominations. Don't say what they are yet. We're going to go through them. But you were talking about how you saw them and you were kind of pleased with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's always going to be at least one or two in each category where I go, oh, come on, not that one.
Yeah, of course.
But hey, if there's enough people who like the one I liked, then it stands to reason it'd be somebody who liked the ones I didn't.
Yeah, Billy, did you see the nominations today?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And now everybody's talking about it. This is probably one of the years where people have been most satisfied, mainly because this year, 2019, the Academy Awards, it looks like we're going to have the most progressive award ceremony yet, mainly with these nominations. And I agree to a certain extent.
Stalked by tragedy. Everyone leaves me. He dies.
This is the perfect time to talk about dtmerch.com. You mean? When things get too comfortable, talk about that black classic tee with the white logo. We got cups in here for you. We got the jerseys, we got the backpacks, the phone covers, all that good stuff for you. And also, remember that we get by with your support on this site. We keep these streams going with your subscription, so please subscribe if you can. And if you can't do it for yourself, do it for all those who don't have that toasty goodness out there, who are not privileged enough to have that. I'm going to let people know it's going to be April 13th, be in Toronto. Forgot the name of the venue at the moment. I'm going to be getting that tomorrow taken care of. But put that down on your calendar, get ready to go. But for what they nominated, everything fits into something that the Academy Award has always kind of nominated, are geared towards, our play it up to, if you will. And this year is what, 8?
Yeah.
8 Best Picture.
I think it's 8 Best Picture nominations. So while we're not going to go through the whole or all of the categories, we'll go through the Best Picture nominations and talk about some things outside of that just briefly.
Okay.
But what I want to do is I want to talk about how these nominations are not too different from what the Academy Award does. But does that mean that the movie that they nominated deserves Best Picture or not, or at least a Best Picture nomination? What you see with the Academy Awards this year, you see typically with them. Let's start out with, now I have this list arranged in no particular way. I do have it numbered 1 through 8. I just put them in random order. But let's start out with what I put as number 1. And that is Roma. Roma, that falls in the category of the art house nomination.
Yeah.
In other words, for a lot of people out there, this is that boring-ass Academy Award nominated movie, possibly winner, that ain't nobody gonna go see, except you cinephile eggheads out there. And does that, okay, I'm not saying that that's exactly what it is. That's, but that's traditionally been what, every now and then, if it was an art movie that they were doing, people be like, man, why don't y'all nominate shit that the common man sees? Ain't nobody gonna go see this. So
They did that too.
yeah, man. If that's happened for years. And I want to get the opinion of you guys. I mean, you can chime in. I know you haven't probably seen this yet, Billy. But Roma.
I've not seen Roma, no.
But you have.
Yeah.
Saw it with you. That's that day that Netflix treated us real good.
They sure did.
Netflix fed us and clothed us, and we said, you know what? The moment we got full, we was like, man, this is kind of Best Picture material, right?
Yeah, I know. I think I'm obligated to vote for it for Best Picture.
Yeah. Yeah, they told us when we got in there, Roma said, get whatever you want to eat and drink. That's on me, amigo. We went in there.
Anything?
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. And Martin came back with about 5 plates in his hands.
And a couple of beers.
Shit, the characters on the screen just stopped like, God damn, nigga. Does that mean that this deserved to be, in our opinion, nominated for Best Picture? And for me, the answer is very much yes. I love this movie, man. And this is one of the things that's also a breakout for them. This movie is actually in my top, possibly my top 3. I don't even know what place yet. I have to go and kind of work that out. But I love this film. The breakout part of this is that they finally made it, man. That free food and that alcohol, that free alcohol, it worked, man.
Do you think they did it for all the Academy voters as well?
I think they got the whole Academy drunk. This is, I think this is the first one. They've been trying for years,
right?
And they finally made it. And one of the things that I think actually Well, besides a lot of art movies, just a lot of them just kind of being nominated by the Academy Awards for years and not really having, what people saw as entertainment value. It was also that those movies were not always easily accessible. Those movies were usually in big cities.
Yeah.
They were in art house theaters.
True.
And only a handful of people were able to have access to that film. But this being on Netflix now, everybody can watch this at their own leisure. They say that with this happening right here, streaming is finally coming to age. Streaming is no longer seen as something shameful. It's no longer seen as cheap. It's no longer seen as you can't get theatrical distribution, so you must be of poor quality. Some people saying that this is one of the best. On a lot of people's lists, they say this for them is the best movie of the year, and it was I think did it come out simultaneously on Netflix or was it out like a week earlier?
No, it was theatrically released for like 3 months and then
3 months,
maybe 2 months.
Because I thought it was only like a couple weeks.
It was definitely 4 or 5 weeks. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a matter of weeks, but
maybe it was just a month. Maybe it was just a month.
But this is yeah, man. I think this movie really does deserve it.
I'm happy that it's accessible to people who want to see it on the small screen, but I hate that people will watch it on the small screen. I talked to a critic who was just like, "Yeah, I watched it. I just don't get it. I just nothing." And I was like, "Man, if you saw it in the theater like we did, you would." It would wash over you. You would get it then. I don't know if it's gonna make it into my top 10, but if it won for Best Picture, I would have no problem with that.
Okay, I see. I guess we're on the opposite end of that too, because this is like really in my top 3 films of the year.
Well, we're not opposite end. We're just not right there with each other.
If it ain't in the top 3, we on the opposite end, brother.
Are you Carlos now?
Yes. No, hell no, don't put me in.
I got to give it a better than sex, or you gonna cuss my name?
No, what are you doing? This is no stranger to what the Academy Award nominates, the British period piece.
Oh.
She's been stalked by tragedy. Everyone leaves me. He dies.
That's the favorite, and that's the title of the film.
Yeah.
The favorite. I'm not trying to make a pun here or anything, just in case there's some misunderstanding if you're listening. And because some people be like, very funny motherfucker. What's the name of the movie? Man, listen, we know how this goes, man. It ain't nothing like dry wit to make you look smarter. It ain't nothing, especially if it's of the British kind. The question is, yes, the Academy Award, they nominate movies like this all the time. There's nothing new, but is it worthy of the nomination that they gave it, or is this just the Oscars just being pretentious like they always do? This is again one of my favorite movies of the year.
Oh, you liked it?
I love this movie, man.
Yeah, this is close to being my actual #1 spot.
Wow, okay. I didn't listen to y'all's
because
thing.
yeah, it's a period piece. Like you go like, oh yes, it's those things, but it turns it on its ear.
Well, I saw it. I mean, I just didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not for everybody. Usually a British period piece, you'll go to the theater, and especially if it's a comedy, they'll be telling jokes and using humor that was funny for that time.
Yeah, sure.
But people would sit in there, and it's just like people watching Shakespeare, like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha.
Sound.
Yeah, in other words, they're yelling, I get it. And it's like the shit ain't that funny.
Right.
This actually made me laugh. They were actually, because it's not just dry British humor. It's actually kind of absurdist. It's weird. I really like it because people in here are being shitty to each other too.
Yeah,
because
it's vulgar.
Yeah,
through a lot of it.
Because if one thing British people got down, it's being shitty to people.
Oh yeah,
it's and being rude and
what's your accent? Where are you from?
Yeah, looking down on people. Mm-hmm. As I said, there are many times in this movie where people are actually looking through their nose at people. Olivia Colman is the one that everybody's talking about, but we have.
I love Rachel Weisz though.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz.
She's one of my favorites.
And what's her name?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, man. They were really good. I mean, it was just the director he never does anything from like any kind of normal or typical point of view. Everything he does has a hint of some strangeness to it, and that's what I liked about this.
Fair enough.
And plus, it's just when I say that if you can do a good costume piece too, that helps, man. Because again, sort of like Roma, but in the opposite direction, it is one of the best looking movies I've seen this year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really think it deserved this nomination, very much so. It's another thing that the Academy Award has been known to do. The musical. Maybe it's time to let the old ways down. know a lot of people saying, well, this is really not that much of a musical. It's not a traditional type musical, but it does follow sort of a format. They stop for performances. With these type of movies,
They don't break into song.
they don't break into song, but they stop for musical
Right,
parts.
right.
It kind of has sort of the structure. It's just the structure of a musical. You got your leading man, your leading lady. You got how they got. You get this romance of them getting together, and then you got the parts of the movie where
There's musical numbers.
There's musical numbers in there.
Well, but they're performing a musical number on stage. They're not busting into it like West Side Story or Moulin Rouge.
No,
like that.
but I think it does kind of fit the structure of what
Sure.
this year's musical.
Sure.
And it helps that the lead is also the director.
Sure.
Hollywood loves a good-looking guy directing too, and so that was going to be a shoe-in for them anyway, because I think it did. Unless they had like a real traditional musical out there, this would fit that category. But does it deserve to be nominated? And I don't know. I think Martin feels the same way I do. I mean, we walked out, we just kind of like, damn, I didn't have a list until this
Right.
until this movie came out. I didn't have a Best Picture list. This actually is the first entry. Because this was the one where I was 100% sure when I saw it. I was like, this is Best Picture material right here.
Yeah.
The drama in this is extremely powerful, man. When they have it.
It is, and it touches on a lot of things that are affecting people now. I've been hearing so many testimonials from people, especially it's heartbreaking to hear people going like, "Yeah, Bradley Cooper reminded me of my dad."
Your
like,
dad walked up on stage and pissed all over the stage.
Some stories they told me,
Yeah.
they were just right about there too.
Very realistic moments in this, and they work. Lady Gaga is getting a Best Actress nomination, which she should. And was Bradley Cooper nominated for Best Actor?
Yes, not Best Director.
But not Best, really?
Yeah. Best Actor, not Best
Man, that goes to show you how things turn around quick, because everybody's like, shit, he got this.
Right.
And when it came out.
Right.
Yeah, everybody was so sure.
Well, everybody was so sure he had the Golden Globe locked up for Best Actor, and then Vice came out and was like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
I mean, also, they had to save that one spot for that apology nomination for Spike Lee.
Oh.
Because they're still tripping on themselves over, Do the Right Thing.
Yeah,
So-
years later.
That's what they do. I don't care what anybody says. That's exactly
you're
what
right.
they fucking do.
That is what they do.
And you know what? That brings us to the number 4 nomination, The Critical Darling.
Hello, this is Ron Stallworth calling. Who am I speaking with?
This is David Duke.
Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. That David Duke? God bless white America.
Spike Lee is seen by the Academy Award and critics as an auteur. Spike Lee is like the edgy black friend to the Academy Award and the critics out there. He's outspoken. He can say the N-word, not me. He's like that black friend. And I get it that because when Spike Lee hit the scene, ever since he hit the scene, Spike Lee has been a guy that has had an artistic approach to everything that he's done. Some people would actually say heavy-handed for that.
Oh, I'd be one of those people.
No, yeah. Spike Lee can be the first black dude out the gate with a movie. The Academy Award, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, he got it, man. So it's no surprise, right, to you?
Well, I think that he's one of those where they're so often like, if he could just make a movie that made some money, we'd vote for him in a second. Just for some things he's done before.
Mm-hmm. And this one, it was able to, they had great marketing for it. This one it's not the most accessible film that he's done. It's not the most mainstream film that he's done, but it did hit mainstream.
Yeah,
more mainstream he's done in a long time. Does this deserve a Best Picture nomination, in your opinion?
Well, I would say this. To me, for me personally, no, it's nowhere near my even top 20 as far as films go. But I do recognize that people do really like it. It would never get my vote, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not bothering you. You're cool with it getting the nomination.
I guess.
You don't sound like you are.
What a ringing endorsement.
Martin says, I guess.
Because I know a lot of the popularity of this movie is because of Trump and that big rally where Heather Heyer got run over, which he was able to use footage from.
Yeah.
These kind of things, these are hot button issues right now. So he's tapped into that, even though this story doesn't even really connect to that, but he forced it to happen. The only thing that really bothers me about it is that when it comes to like movies about racial issues, you know, good movies, and we've had a lot this year. I think of The Hate You Give in Blind Spotting, how it's like, man, I wish one of those could have had this spot.
See, you hit it right there for me.
Because those really had something to say.
Yeah, like this movie, I like this movie. I mean, it was one of the reviews of Martin. You know, he definitely liked it less than I did, and I really did enjoy it. I even think some of the complaints we had about it were different complaints. I really liked the movie. I had no problem with the nomination, but I feel the bias, man. Because I said this in my review, and you hit it right there, man. Blind Spotting. Blind Spotting is a similar movie in so many ways. Even with the racial social message behind it.
Yeah.
You know, I think this movie did it so much better.
Yeah.
And the Academy Award didn't even like give it a nod. They didn't even let it. You know, they didn't even let it through the back door. You know, I feel very strongly about it being ignored. And
Blind Spotting.
And Blind Spotting. Yeah, and Black Klansman took up the slot that this movie I think should have had. This is the one that broke through on so many levels. No, this is the obvious "Make These Negroes Happy" nomination.
Yeah. Hey, you ain't lying.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now, because y'all are talking
Oscar's
about
not so white now, are they?
Well, that's what. That's what it is. They're talking about how this is this is a okay. First of all, that's not just a blockbuster, because we know that the Academy Award don't even want to nominate blockbusters in general in any genre.
Well,
Except Titanic.
Unless there's money behind it to be made, because you're the number one movie in the in the world, or or you're some kind of again, maybe some kind of period piece that's directed by some well-respected director like Gladiator. I ain't never understood the Gladiator getting Best Picture.
Me either.
Years later, I'm still
like,
like,
man, I don't like that.
But
movie.
even Avatar, didn't Avatar get nominated?
Yeah, but it was. I mean, that was at least a technical achievement.
yeah,
But Best Picture?
but not Best Picture. No.
Sorry.
Black Panther is not just a blockbuster, but it is a comic book blockbuster, man. And like you said, Martin, this is in response to a hashtag Oscars so white, man. Yeah, they said it should have been hashtag make these niggas shut up. Because they
What about this, Jada?
this is not gonna get it, but let's all be let's be happy with the nomination.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna be free one day, but just not next month.
Yeah, it ain't the promised land. Yeah,
It will always be Oscar nominated.
yeah,
Black Panther.
yeah. Some black people getting mad like, oh, so you just saying they just threw that out there and it don't deserve anything beyond that. No, I think it definitely deserves an Oscar nomination. Maybe I'm biased because yes, I love this movie. This is the only movie this year that I saw like 4 times in the theater. This finally shows that the Academy is evolving, man. Last year we had the Shape of Water.
Yeah.
But that was seen sort of again as a love letter to Hollywood dressed up in a fantasy creature film. This is a straight up comic book movie.
And a very damn good one.
Yeah. Did not see any other movie this year that spoke to the strength of cinema like this movie did, bringing, uniting a whole culture of people to go out and see it, of all generations.
This is true.
This spoke, seriously, there's an argument to be made that you want to talk about the art of film and the art of film being a social experience. This is a prime example of that.
Because as good as it is, there's so many places where things about it that could be better. And as superhero movies go, I think it's one of the best. But I don't. There's not that place where I go, that's that performance or that bit of dialogue that deserves it.
Michael B. Jordan. When people said that he was kind of this year's kind of Joker performance, I said, nah. But when I saw it, I was like, he's damn close. I watched his performance in that movie like I watched Heath Ledger's over and over again, just because not because of him. Yeah, because of him, but I loved his character so much in that film.
I don't think Michael B. Jordan is bad, but him and that character, they're just one note. It's anger.
How do you feel about the nomination?
The being Best Picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel just fine with it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
To your point, I was going to say, I think behind all that anger, there's pain.
Yeah,
That's the thing that was delivered right there for me. He wasn't an angry guy who wanted to take over. He was like, I'm really upset about my people being taken advantage of, and you trifling Negroes ain't done nothing about it. And on top of that, it really goes down to I got daddy issues too.
Right, and also you're my fucking cousin. You won't acknowledge it.
Is the best comic book movie ever made? No, but I think it's with this impact that it had, I think speaking to the power of film, it deserved it. We have at number 6 the studio campaigned, as you were saying, everything has to be campaigned. The studio campaigned crowd pleaser.
Yeah, some guy called over here, a doctor. He's looking for a driver.
Do you foresee any issues in working for a black man?
You in the Deep South, there's gonna be problems.
That's Green Book. In Green Book, a lot of people are surprised about that nomination, though, Billy, because there was a huge backlash after the movie became successful, and they started putting out rumors of a Best Picture nomination, and this to me, whether it had this controversy or not, it was a shoe-in to me because, the movie is fun. It's one of those movies where white people come out and they're just kind of like, boy, racism shit was bad back then. Glad it's gone now.
And as they put their manga hat back on.
Right.
Yeah.
Done and done.
And when the Academy sees something like this, it is a studio, it is pretty much, it's very much a studio film. With not only an A-list roster of actors, but some that are very, very the it actors right now.
But it's really well made. I mean, yeah, it's that Oscar formula or those kind of comfort movies that we've seen. But sometimes one comes along and you go like, well, shit, they just made this so good.
Oh yeah,
and the performances are amazing. And you know what? Maybe these guys were really friends in real life or not, but I didn't know who Don Shirley was. But this made me look him up and download a bunch of his music. Yeah. And I listen to it on a regular basis now.
Yeah. I agree with people. There are major problems with this movie, man. It's historically inaccurate. The tie-ins are big stereotypes. It's manipulative. Some of it even seems false in its dialogue. I loved every minute of it. I'm not going to backtrack and deny my feelings when I first saw it, which was when it was done. I even told Martin, I said, man, this is one of the best times I've had in a movie theater this whole year. Mm-hmm. I was ready to go see this movie again, except that they didn't have it in Waco. I was going to take my mom to see it. Yeah.
Oh, your mom would love this movie.
She was wanting to see it, and she was asking me, Corey, what happened to Green Book? Like I could just call the studio and get it over here. Tell me to get it over here. Man. I think it's so. You think it deserves a nomination?
Oh,
I do.
Absolutely.
I
yeah,
do.
It's in my top 5.
Yeah. Number 7. If it's there, it will get nominated, and that is the political message film.
What do you say? I want you to be my VP.
Even though this is not Trump, and that's the thing about it, Trump is too obvious. So this was a nice one to pick because
who's the last bad guy?
Yeah. When Holmes and Sherlock is putting Trump in their movie, it's time to stay away from that. So this one went to they went back to something that was close to that, sort of a parallel, and that was Dick Cheney. Mm-hmm. I didn't see this as being a strong contender for Best Picture. I'm not surprised by it though. Now I probably would replace this with something else. It's getting by on the powerhouse performances that you have here.
Exactly.
Christian Bale. Hey, look, if you can physically transform yourself and not with that, you're not having to use a whole lot of makeup to.
Man, he had the mouth down. The mouth.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What he does with the mouth.
Oh yeah. He did. Had
amazing.
Had that penguin thing going on.
Yeah.
Christian Bale gave a big performance. So did what's her name? His wife, Amy Adams in this.
Sam Rockwell.
Of course, everybody's talking about Sam Rockwell. I think he got a nomination for Best
Supporting. Yeah.
Best Supporting. This is the performances that are really pushing this over, along with the anti-Trump message that's in there. As a whole, I don't think it made it for me. Mm-hmm. But and after seeing it, how it performed at the Golden Globes, I was like, I'm not gonna have a problem with it, but it wouldn't have been my choice. And I say this one for last because it's the most simple. The what the fuck.
No one will play Queen.
That's Bohemian Rhapsody. Look, Martin and I have been able to sit here and give rationale for everything that's been nominated. I don't know what I don't know what to say about this. I don't mind this being a hit. I don't mind people loving it. I don't mind it getting good reviews. But Best Picture, hell no,
no. It's not even well made.
No. I don't even think it's I don't even think it's bad or directed. I think it's fine. It's adequate. You know, it's okay. They made something that was very mediocre in my opinion, as far as telling the story of the band.
Right. The only thing actually remarkable about it is Rami Malek's his resemblance to Freddie Mercury when he's on stage.
And it's getting by on Rami Malek's performance, which I think is amazing. So the movie's getting by. That's another movie like Vice that's getting by on a performance.
But that it's just a single performance.
Yeah.
Like the writing's not good, and his performance when he's off stage. I mean, it's not so much his performance, but the way he was directed to act.
This is a movie that the studios campaigned for. The studios campaigned for this, and they pushed for it, and they really did push not only the attention that it got at the Golden Globes, but also how well it performed at the box office. Had the upswing with the critical reviews.
They marketed the shit out of this
And
film.
yeah, there was a heavy campaign behind this, man. And like Martin said, it's Queen. They knew. I told you, man. Say what you will about the film, but they knew how to structure that movie to get people feeling just right when they were leaving the theater. They gave people a concert.
Okay.
It wasn't a movie anymore.
Yeah,
it
no,
was
it
a concert. And they just played on people's nostalgia, playing one Queen hit after another. They just bombarded people the way
karaoke party at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, they just bombarded people with music to the point that they were just high off of
Oh,
Queen
shit,
music
I
when
thought
they
you were
left.
bullshitting.
No.
Oh, okay.
Best picture for the best Queen cover band, yeah.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's Queen cover.
Yeah, best Queen cover band.
What the fuck category?
It really was. I looked at that and I was like, I know you fucking didn't do this.
If it wins, that really is that's a strike in the integrity of the whole process.
That's where I've just
There's been a lot of those though.
That's where next year I ain't even
True.
talking about the Academy Awards anymore, unless I'm talking about how full of shit it is.
so distracting.
See, with me, yeah.
It's like, man, y'all didn't have to do Freddie Mercury like that. His
Do
teeth
him
weren't-
like that, Ronnie Malek
damn.
like
His
that.
teeth weren't that bad.
They weren't that like that, were they?
No.
Yeah, his teeth is pushing the door open before he gets in the room.
His teeth are doing the opening act before the band comes on.
Shit, his teeth are talking about after you, sir. But I know, man, I don't get it. And when I get confused like this, it makes me angry. I don't like it. But but I am happy for a few things that were. I'm not gonna say so much a surprise, but I was prepared for it not to happen. Like for Roma, Yalitza Aparicio, who played the maid in the movie, and Marina de Tavira, who played the wife.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that, especially the girl who played the maid, I thought she was incredible. And
Me too.
because she felt she felt like a real person. I don't even think she was an actress before this.
No,
but-
she wasn't.
Oh,
but she did an incredible job, man. I was happy to see her getting that kind of attention. This is a movie that I thought was not going to get too much attention because it was so small. And that is Can You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy. This was the movie where Melissa McCarthy played the writer who was true. It was based on a true story. She was forging letters of famous poets and authors. This would have been a Best Picture nomination for me. I mean, the movie just worked for me on a personal level to where I enjoyed it on the human level that it played out, the very flawed human level that it played out. These people were, they were wrong for what they did. It's one of those stories where it's good to see that these people were, they were human in their mistakes.
No, she was a bad person.
I don't think she was. I never got that. I didn't think she was a bad person. I thought that she was, she had a problem socializing with people, and and what she did with this, because she had a problem socializing, she couldn't she couldn't write too well, and people didn't want to give her, and I get it because she was rude to people. But me, man, I've seen people because she was kind of bipolar too in a way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think somebody. I don't say just because they're rude, they're a bad person. But she was just kind of shitty in general.
Like I said, that's what I was saying. You're not meant to like her, really,
Yeah.
but I didn't hate her. It was something where I didn't.
I felt bad for her.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That there's somebody who's doing something bad, and you have sympathy for them still.
It's a weird. I feel bad for you, but I don't feel bad for you, because you have to know where this is going.
No, I'll tell you how I felt through this. I feel bad for you, but I can't wait for your ass to get caught.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
yeah,
how I felt.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
it exactly.
you need to be stopped.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy got nominated for Best Actress, and as who played the main character in the movie. And her, she has a gay friend in the film, and they have a complicated relationship. And the gay friend is played by Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
And I loved him, man. I thought,
Dude, okay, so Mahershala Ali, like that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But I really saw him more as a co-lead. But as supporting performances go, Richard E. Grant, this movie was my favorite.
Last time I saw you, thank you, we were both pleasantly pissed at some horrible book party. Am I right? Maybe she just moved back to the suburbs.
you know, he was really. I love both of them together in this film.
Oh,
man.
Every time he came on screen, it just lit up for me.
Yeah, and I was glad to see them get a nomination. I thought the movie would be so small because I already kind of settled for it to get snubbed and everything.
Yeah.
Another movie that I would have replaced Vice or Bohemian Rhapsody with is If Beale Street Could Talk. I really love this movie. It's not your typical love story. It's it's a love story with a message behind it. You like the movie, but you didn't like it as much as I did.
Yeah, I only kind of barely liked it. I thought for sure it was going to get a nomination because I was like, all right, Barry Jenkins, director of Moonlight, based on James Baldwin. These white critics won't be too afraid to.
But Spike Lee already got it.
Yeah, so they're like, hey, we got this one right here.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. That couple was just too milquetoast for me. They're too bland.
Yeah, I'd say, and I love them. But whether you like the couple or not, whether you like the movie or not, do you agree on Regina King?
Oh,
in the
yeah.
film? I was happy to see her.
No, they've been riding her from the very
for
beginning.
best supporting actress.
Yeah.
From the moment she stepped up, I was like, listen, I thought the movie was gonna get a best picture nomination. I would have been more irritated had Regina King.
She brings all the fire to that movie.
Oh yeah, she does.
It's a sacrament, and no, I ain't lost my mind.
He like shit. I'm already drunk.
It's funny to remember that she's the little girl from 227.
She is. Well, she's still Riley and she's still the Boondocks to me, man.
Boys in the Hood too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. She was. Another thing that I'm very happy about, and I would have put this in the top in the best picture category if I had my choice, but I knew it wasn't because again I thought this was small. But one thing I did say, I said this woman is going to get a Best Actress nomination in this film. You know which movie I'm talking about? I'm talking about Glenn Close and The Wife.
Oh yes. No.
Am I speaking to Mr. Castleman?
I'd like my wife to get on the extension.
Hello, Ivan.
It is my great honor to tell you, Mr. Castleman, that you have been chosen to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature.
When I saw this, the thing I thought immediately was, this is my favorite female performance of this year, 2018, and that has not changed.
I get a lot of things wrong. I'm not an expert, but she was the one I said she's gonna get nominated. I don't know if she's gonna win, but
she won a Golden Globe.
She did.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, anything you want to add, Martin? Anything you're disappointed in? Anything you want to put in there?
No, I'm like you. There's plenty of them. Half of them I'm fully on board with, and some I'm like, well, all right. And only Bohemian Rhapsody is the one I'm going like, you better not.
Man, I was even the ones I disagree. Yeah, man, I was cool. I was going down the list. I was like, yes, no, but I get it. Yes, man, fuck you. I didn't. It caught me off guard. I was like, no. I kept going through it. I'm like, man, this
you stared at it long enough.
Yeah,
It'll disappear.
Hope you had fun, and if you did, please do us a favor and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you really love what we do, go to our main site, doubletoasted.com. Over there, you will find not only the live streams that we do almost every night of the week, but also a longer form version of this video. Support us on dtmerch.com, and remember to always stay toasty.